Hey everyone, this is a new podcast called Next Take with Mikel, and
Tanyka,
where we talk about high level topics such as
we're going to be talking about the Scooter Braun situation and Snow White.
and the appropriate CERB situation. Dun dun dun.
Wow.
So yeah. So what we're going to talk about first, Tanyka?
So I guess we can talk about the Scooter Braun situation. It's a little more recent.
Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. What's
So
happening over there?
I'm sure a lot of people know at this point that a lot of his artists have been getting rid of him, firing him. He
Wow.
is the manager of Ariana Grande. She's dropped him. She's also Irina Menzel, who, if we remember her, she was the voice of one of the characters on Frozen. She's dropped him. I didn't know she
Wow.
was actually even being managed by him.
Okay.
Selena Gomez was also being managed. She's dropped him.
Wow.
But the biggest thing is Justin Bieber. He is still with him.
Do you know what reason?
There's no reason
Oh,
right now other than his contract with Scooter Braun goes until
mm,
2025.
mm.
So he probably cannot break the contract. He could be sued.
Interesting.
So, although his reps are saying he's not leaving, there's kind of a reason why.
Mm,
But
interesting.
there's no reason as to why all these people are leaving him. I mean, there was a lot of the drama between um, him and Taylor Swift,
Hmm.
but that was years ago now.
Is
So I,
it was that situation with her like her deal with her record label like with Taylor Swift?
from my understanding, it's not necessarily the label themselves. I believe Scooter Braun bought the label, I think is what happened,
Right.
which then in turn he ended up owning her collection of music, which is why she recorded a lot of her songs and ended them off with Taylor's version so that she
Interesting.
could take over, the ownership of her music,
Mm,
which
okay.
is something that happens a lot in the music industry. So,
All right. Well, I did hear that she got Taylor Swift got like a lot of her basically her masters for all
yeah,
her music, so that's good.
yeah.
What's the second topic that we're talking about on next take?
You want to talk about Snow White?
Let's go ahead. Let's go.
Okay. So there's a lot of drama with the Snow White stuff. Okay, so a
Okay.
lot of the drama with the Snow White situation is the lead actress who would be playing Snow White has
Hmm.
really been saying that this movie is not appropriate for 2023 standards,
Hmm.
that, the misogyny, the patriarchy, all of
Yeah.
that kind of thing, that she doesn't need a prince to be her knight in shining armor and to, kiss her away type situation. And although I understand that, this is just a movie. The movie was made in a
Yeah.
time where this was very different.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people have actually come forward to against the actress, saying that, okay, a woman can still be independent, have her life, do all the things she wants to do.
I
But
agree.
what's wrong with wanting love? You know? So,
Y-
yeah.
y- Yeah, I think the way how she's going about it is a little too steep, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know why Disney decided to change the story of Snow White because it still works in this modern age right now. So like just because I saw her saying that because Snow White didn't get consent to be kissed
Mm-hmm.
by the prince.
But
And
then
I'm
here's my
like,
question. I understand the whole consent situation. It's a problem.
right.
You know, unfortunately, all women have dealt with men putting their power over them. I get
Hmm.
it. But this is still just a movie. Let's just take
Right.
it for what it is. How could
Right.
she have given consent? She was sleeping. The whole thing was she needed to come back to life as of, because of the poisoned apple.
T-
How do you
technically,
change that?
technically, she did give consent. If you think about it, she was dreaming
How?
about the prince
She
kissing
was.
her.
No, she
In a
wasn't.
way, in a way, that's consent to say that she wants to be kissed by a prince.
Well, I don't
Right.
remember. I mean, it's been a while since I watched Snow White, but I don't
Yeah.
remember her
So,
dreaming
so it was
about
good.
him. Yeah, I don't really remember her dreaming
Yeah.
about him per se.
Yeah.
She did see him before she ran away and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But we do have to take into consideration that Snow White's technically 13. So, I mean, we want to go dig deep into that. But these are
Mhm.
all things, again, that we have to
Shouldn't
just take the movie as it is.
yeah, it shouldn't be changed in
Exactly.
any way, shape, or form. So,
Well, I'm not even
I mean,
saying so much changed because then we can go into the whole situation with Little Mermaid. People were really upset that Ariel's black now and she's not supposed to be, and all of this situation. It's like, okay,
so,
but
but
there's nothing
but she
wrong with change.
that too, and there was never a race with the mermaid.
No,
So,
mermaids can be
yeah,
whatever race.
yeah, yeah.
And
So,
again, mermaids aren't real.
yeah,
But that's
exactly.
the thing. You can't buy too much into this. Just take it for what it is.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
the Little Mermaid's whole situation, her race, doesn't change the premise of the movie, but what they're
Hmm.
trying to do can change the
Hmm.
premise of the movie.
Hmm.
So,
If it isn't broke, don't fix it.
exactly.
So,
And I mean,
yeah.
personally, how I feel about the live action Disney movies, I mean, personally, I don't know why they have to do it. Am I saying I haven't watched them? I'm not saying that. I've watched them. But, you know, you could just leave well enough alone. That's fine too. But then don't put in this frame of, well, this is 2023 and consent and all of this. It's
Right,
like, okay, well
right.
then just don't do the movie then. I don't know what else to say.
I agree. I agree. Inappropriate CERB situation going on in Canada. So, according to the CRA, a dozen of CRA employees were fired for inappropriately claiming CRB while still working. Wow. The
Yeah.
Canadian, yeah, Revenue Agency CRA has confirmed as number of its employees have been filed for inappropriate claiming of CERB benefits while still being employed out
So,
of,
so
yeah,
again, before we go into any more, because again, I'm sure we have some American listeners, we
yeah,
should explain what CERB is. So,
go ahead.
for those who don't know, CERB is basically a benefit that came around in Canada during the COVID pandemic because a lot of people were losing their jobs and everything because of the pandemic. They were able to apply for something called the CERB. So, and
Yeah,
that's the only reason you could apply for CERB is if you lost your job because of the pandemic, no other reason.
yeah.
Okay, so continue.
So, like, also according to this CRA, out of the approximately 600 cases, we can report that 120 individuals are no longer with the CRA as a result of this uh, investigation right now. So Tanyka, do you believe the CRA employees deserve to be fired for this?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Because we have to think about it again from this perspective. The all benefits have a cap, right? We all
Mm-hmm.
do the government does a budget every year, and whatever budget is worked in, that's what is worked in. Benefits are the same thing. All benefits that are available to Canadians are set to a cap. So how dare these employees who have so many benefits that a
Right.
person like me working in a law firm doesn't have. They have such great benefits. So how dare you take away something that,
Yeah.
an average person actually needed who didn't have a job?
Exactly.
And I'm actually not even sure if the government employees are even allowed to apply for CERB to begin with. They may not have even been allowed to do that. I don't know. But because they are Canadian government employees, so how dare you? And the thing is, and again, as I just quickly mentioned, I work at a law firm. We've seen plenty of people on the other sides of our cases applying for CERB when they probably shouldn't have been. So even for
100%
them,
agree.
you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, we understand like, everything is so high, groceries,
Mm-hmm.
what else? Gas is so high right now.
Tell me about it.
Uh um a lot of things are going high due to inflation right now. So
Mm-hmm.
basically there's so much resources out there nowadays compared to what it was like I would say 40, 50 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So like people gotta learn how to like, use those resources and do your research on it and
Well,
uh
it's not even so much that they don't know what it's for. Half of these people, especially the people in the who work for the government, they know exactly what the CERB was for.
right.
They're doing it because they're trying to, mess with the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, cheat, yeah.
Yeah, and again, the benefits that we have is due to how life is like now.
Right.
Whatever it was like 40, 50 years ago. I mean, you could probably buy a house for somewhere in the thousands, you
Mm-hmm.
know, under $100,000. You cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, no.
You're
And
lucky
then
if you can
they're
find a place
yeah,
under a million,
houses are expensive. They're like 1 million,
easily
anything like
over a
that.
minute,
Yeah,
million,
1 million.
depending.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
house just down the street from me that, and where we live, which I won't say exactly where I live or where you live, but
Mhm.
um, it went it became a bidding war and it went for over $1 million. At that time, that was absolutely unheard of.
Crazy.
And it set the precedent for
Yeah.
like real estate. Just talking about that alone. But yeah,
Ridiculous. Yeah. Hopefully it comes down interest rates and everything. So
I don't know if that'll ever come down or when that'll happen. It won't be happening
yeah.
anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh, well, uh anyway, so we're going to tell the people how, how we basically like met and
Okay.
why are
You want to talk? Well, so for me, we'll talk from my perspective. I think
yeah,
mine's
go
a
ahead.
little more detailed.
Yeah.
Um, we both went to the same high school, different
Yeah.
times. We're 3 years
Mhm.
apart. You're 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Um, so I became friends with somebody. Again, I won't be naming any names, but I became
Okay.
friends with somebody who definitely mentioned you quite a bit and figured I knew you, but I didn't. And at the
Yeah.
time that I became friends with her, you had already graduated.
Mhm.
So I never met you until then. But eventually we did meet and we ended up putting the connection together because I knew you by your nickname. I didn't know you by your real name. And I ended up going to
Yeah.
her and I ended up asking, like, do you care if I say your nickname?
Go ahead, nickname. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to
I
say it. I'll
said,
say it.
like, yeah, I
Bubba.
said,
Basically, it
yeah,
means
yeah,
father, guys.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever.
So I said, like, do you know, like, Mikel? And she's like, yeah, that's Bub. And I'm like, wait, what? So I ended up meeting you. I think I was 19. So it was about,
Yeah.
say, about 3 years after I heard about you.
Yeah.
That's from my perspective.
That's pretty much what it was, guys. There's no
Yeah.
explaining it from my perspective. So
Yeah. We've known
but
each other probably, what,
yeah, for over
15 years or
yeah,
something?
10,
Close to
yeah,
that? 10
over
years?
10. Yeah, yeah,
10
that's
years.
pretty
Over
much
10
over
years.
10, no, over
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. We wanted to do this podcast because I think it's needed in um uh on this platform, I believe. Ooh. what do you think what's the reason why we did this podcast, Tanika,
I
as
mean,
well?
we have things to talk about.
Yeah, that too.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely talk about certain things, so I think we just thought, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I do believe this also like I said, I do believe this podcast is also needed as well. And
Hmm.
we have a lot of things to talk about, like you said. So
Yeah,
yeah. So this ends this week's episode of the Next Take podcast with Mikel
Tanika.
and the Next Take podcast will be available on all platforms. Contact us at mikeltanika@gmail.com. This is Mikel,
And Tanika.
and we are out.